I keep 1 inch under the marker, not scared, just saving the frame. The cup could take a little more, but I leave the surface unnamed. Yeah. No trophy for the overfill, no medal for the last small crack. I used to call it discipline when I never gave anything back. Yeah. Now I count the space I didn't spend, put it beside my keys. A folded note inside my coat says leave enough room to leave. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The door is open but I don't rush through, I let the handle cool in my hand. Some days don't need a clean arrival, just a line that still can stand. Yeah, yeah. I used to climb until the railing started looking like a debt. Every step had to prove something I hadn't even lost yet. There's a limit printed somewhere in a language I ignored. I kept stacking little reasons till they leaned against the door. Now I move with less announcement, no big turn, no perfect sign. If I make it past the corner, that already counts as mine. Yeah, yeah. I don't need the whole height today, I don't need to wear the crown. Let the last 10% stay empty, let the pressure set itself down. I can still be moving forward with the ceiling left untouched. Not everything that stays unfinished has to mean I wasn't enough. So I'll stay below the maximum, where my hands can still unclench, where the day doesn't have to name me, where I don't owe the edge. I'll keep a little breath between me and the version built to win. If the top is asking too much, I can stop just under it. Yeah, not falling, not giving up, not turning into stone, just learning how to carry less and still keep going home. One mark lower, still in motion. One bag lighter, same direction. Not a sermon, not a finish, just a smaller way to stay in it. I had a list with every margin crossed out in permanent ink. Told myself the spare parts mattered only when I couldn't think. But the floor knows every habit, how I pace and overshoot, how I make a simple errand turn into a courtroom proof. There's a receipt in my pocket for a thing I didn't buy. Maybe that's the better ending, passing something heavy by. I can leave the message pending, let the question keep its seat. I can take the longer crossing with the light still incomplete. And it's not a grand recovery, not a flag above the roof. It's a hand against the table checking what still holds true. It's the smaller kind of courage that nobody has to see, taking one unnecessary weight away from me. I don't have to be the answer to the whole room all at once. I can turn the volume lower and still not disappear from front. So I'll stay below the maximum, where my name can come undone, where the climb is not a contract, where the next step isn't one. I'll keep a little space beside me for the part that needs to bend. If I don't reach the highest number, I can still arrive again. Not empty, not defeated, not a race behind the glass, just choosing not to spend myself on every narrow pass. Below the line I found a lane I clean but open enough. Below the line I kept my shape but less to drag through the dust. I'm not built for constant proving, I'm not made of extra rope. I can leave some room unused and call it a form of hope. Maybe the scale was never honest, maybe the mark was placed too high. Maybe the strongest thing I did was let one needless answer slide. The wall keeps all its little scratches, I keep none of them as law. There's a way to move more gently without making myself small. I step around the missing piece, not fixing it tonight. Some things become possible when I stop holding them so tight. I won't chase the final notch just to prove the ladder knew me. I won't turn a plain survival into something sharp and roomy. Let the extra stay uncarried, let the measure lose its teeth. Let the day be almost finished with a little air beneath. So I'll stay below the maximum, where the room can still be mine, where I don't have to disappear to make the numbers line. I'll keep a little distance, something from the edge I used to assert. If I stop before I'm empty, that is more than I deserve. Not perfect, not dramatic, not a story made to glow, just a lower kind of forward, just enough to let me go. So I'll stay below the maximum, not because I lost the thread, but because the part I leave unused is the part that gets me ahead. I don't fill the last blank space, I don't climb to prove the stair. I take the mark below the mark, and leave myself there. Move me by a little, not enough to call a change. Just a chair mark on the floor that proves the room was rearranged. I don't need a bright arrival with my name across the door. Only one small shift beside me saying I can try once more. Leave the big decision folded, leave the speech inside the drawer. I can turn without announcing what I'm turning toward. If the whole day won't forgive me, let a corner of it budge. I don't need a rescue story, just a barely visible nudge. There's a pencil by the calendar, roll close to the edge. I watch it almost fall again, then stop before the threat. Funny how a tiny distance can change the shape of weight. 2 inches from a problem makes it smaller on the plate. I kept waiting for a reason with a headline and a sign. Something clean enough to trust, something louder than my mind. But most things start uneven, half a sleeve caught in the door. A bag left on a table, a shoe turned toward the floor. Maybe I don't need the answer to arrive with perfect hands. Maybe I can start by moving one wrong object where it stands. Not a promise, not a comeback, not the scene where I become. Just a little less against me, just a little more undone. I put the cup back in the cabinet, not because I'm fine, just to clear a patch of counter from the weather in my mind. There's a list I won't complete today, but I cross one harmless thing. The smallest line through nothing still makes the paper sing. I text myself a sentence I won't send to anyone. Start where the pressure loosens, not where the pressure won. That sounds almost too simple, so I leave it with the dust. Some truths feel more useful when they don't ask for trust. And I spend so many days trying to become the kind of person who could open every window without checking what it worsened. But I'm learning from the crooked things, from the drawer that doesn't close, from the button on my jacket that still works when no one knows. Move me by a little, not enough to make it loud, just enough to put some distance between the floor and every doubt. I don't need the sky to open, I don't need the whole thing solved. Only one small loosened corner where the stuck part gets involved. Let the morning stay unfinished, let the room keep half its smudge. I can live inside a moment that was changed by just a nudge. If the heavy thing keeps standing, let it stand an inch away. I can breathe around the outline and still make it through the day. Not a door, more like the space beside it. Not a road, more like my foot deciding. Not a cure, not a clean new page, just the angle of a sentence turned away from blame. A little to the left and the picture stops accusing me. A little less exact and the mirror lets me pass. A little out of order and the day becomes usable. Not beautiful, just something I can carry without glass. I used to hate the mind, I fixed the tape across the wire. The folded card beneath the leg that keeps the table higher. Now I see the small repair is not the weaker kind. It's the hand that does not force what still needs time. Maybe the point was never motion big enough to make a claim. Maybe the point was staying close without becoming what I named. The hallway doesn't ask me to be ready for the end. It only gives me one more towel in a wall that doesn't bend. So I take the less impressive path where nobody would look. A thumbprint on the margin, a page I didn't book. Move me by a little, not enough to split the frame, just enough to make the old shape answer to another name. I don't need a better version, stand as spotless in the sun. Only one small place inside me where the locked part comes undone. Let the answer stay in pencil, let the doubt keep half its grudge. I can still become a movement from a barely visible nudge. If everything keeps leaning, let it lean another way. I can pass beside the pressure and not await on my day. Move me by a little like a chair mark, like a sign that the room was never fixed, that the line was never mine. Not a victory, not a failure, not a lesson wrapped in gold, just a softer way of turning what I thought I had to hold. I move the cup, then leave the rest. The room looks almost the same, and I step through it anyway. Not the whole thing, just the nearest square. Fold the page once, leave the rest there. I can make a smaller door from a line I almost crossed. If the full shape asks too much, I can try without the cost. Yeah, I draw a box inside the notebook, then another box inside. Yeah, every plan gets less impossible when it has somewhere to hide. Yeah, there's a ticket torn in quarters in the pocket of my coat. I'm not leaving all at once, just letting one edge float. I used to make the whole day answer for the trouble in my hands. Now I give it only one task, small enough to understand. Wash one plate, leave three waiting. Open one tab, close two more. Put one shoe beside the doorway, that can count as toward. I don't have to solve the weather with a sentence and a name. I can cut the weight in quarters till it loses half its claim. If the full row keeps refusing, I can use the curb instead. One small piece of forward is enough to move the thread.
I keep the larger part unopened, not because I want to run. Some pages need a smaller hand before they meet the sun.
carried heavy questions like they all belong to me. Now I let one piece lie softly where the answer doesn't need to become a perfect doorway, to become a shining proof. A quarter of the burden still can make a little room. Let us try in quarters, let the whole thing wait its turn. We can move through one small section while the wider parts still burn. If we cannot lift the day up, we can lift the nearest side, and the part we manage gently might become enough to guide. Let us try in quarters. Not to shrink what we could be, but to find a smaller doorway where the next step lets us breathe. If the full amount is heavy, if the answer comes out late, we can start with one clear corner and leave 3 more on the plate. There's a rubber band around the letters I keep meaning to sort. I loosen only one of them and call that effort short. Not careless, not defeated, just a method. I can keep a small mark on the paper where the bigger demand fell asleep. I take the heavy question and divide it by the floor. One tile, one breath, one errand, one handle on the drawer. I stop asking every motion to become a full repair. The smallest honest movement still counts if it gets me there.
Maybe less is not surrender when the hands are tired, but here maybe trying in a fraction makes the larger shape less severe. I will keep one corner tender, I will let the others wait. There is mercy in a smaller start that does not force the gate.
Maybe I was asking progress to arrive too wide too soon. Maybe I was turning minutes into rooms I couldn't use. Maybe 1/4 emotion can outlast the perfect plan. Maybe I can stay unfinished and continue as I am. So I'll make the trial smaller, put the limit where I can. I don't need to be completed to put weight back in my hands.
1/4 of the letter, we can read it.
1/4 of the stair, we can stand.
1/4 of the answer, we can keep it
without making the cord out of our hands.
1/4 of the pressure, we can lower.
1/4 of the turn, we can take.
The rest can stay unnamed behind us.
Not gone, just giving less to claim.
Let us try in
quarters, let the whole thing wait its turn. We can move through one small section while the wider parts still burn.
We cannot hold the outline, we can hold the nearest side, and the part we carry gently might become enough to guide.
Let us try in quarters. With the full weight out of frame, with the unfinished pieces keeping their unfinished names. If the day keeps asking loudly for a version we can make, we can answer with 1 corner
and let that corner stay.
Let us try in quarters, not a lesser way to go. Just a shape our hands can handle when the larger one says no.
We can leave the rest unopened, we can leave the final claim.
We can move by one small portion and still not move in vain. The paper folds twice,
1 square turns toward us,
the other 3 stay blank,
and we begin there.
I won't wait until the proof is clean, I won't wait until the line agrees. Some steps only make their meaning after they have moved my feet. I keep one reason folded back to let the first mark come out blurred. Maybe I will know it later, maybe later is the word. I had a ticket with no platform, kept it under my sleeve. The map was bent in several places, but I still knew how to leave. There was a name I couldn't give it, there was a route I didn't trust. Every answer looked expensive, every plan collected dust. So I stopped asking for the whole shape, stopped measuring the door. Took the handle as it found me, not as proof of something more. A small light over the exit, half a sign and half a guess. I went because the standing still was asking too much from my chest. Some things don't start with confidence, they start with clearing space. A coat pulled from the back of a chair, a key returned to place. Some choices look unfinished until they're already behind. The proof comes walking after them, late but still on time. I don't need to know the reason before the ground begins to shift. I can move through what is missing with a smaller kind of lift. If the answer comes afterward, let it come with dust on its shoes. I can start without a witness, I can start before I choose. There is no perfect paper with my name already clear. Only something in the distance becoming useful as I near. I kept a list of better time and every page was almost right. Too many ways to make a doorway turn back into a wall. I wanted facts like furniture, solid square, already placed. But the world kept moving sideways when I tried to make it safe. There's a stairwell in my thinking where the bulbs don't all come on. Still the railing holds the question long enough to keep me drawn. I'm not brave in any clean way, I just lower what I ask. Take the day out of its cost, don't take my hand off the glass. And maybe I was overweight and turning every doubt to law. Maybe I was making judges out of marks nobody saw. Maybe ready is a language I have used to stay unchanged. Maybe proof is just a shadow cast by something rearranged. So I let the first move happen with no ribbon tied around. Let the reason come in later, let it find me on the ground. I don't need to know the reason before the ground begins to shift. Yeah, I can move through what is missing with a smaller kind of lift. If the answer comes afterward, let it enter out of breath. Let it carry all the evidence. I was too tired to collect. I can leave without a headline, I can turn without a vow. What I couldn't name before me might be naming itself now. Proof afterward, like a receipt down in a pocket. Proof afterward, like a locked door staying open. Proof afterward, not a sign above the road, more like weight removed so slowly, only notice when I go. I was waiting for permission from a future with a stamp. But the first step kept its own record in the dust beneath the lamp. There's a version of me somewhere who needed every line in place. I don't blame him for the counting, he was trying to save face. But I'm leaving him the pencil, not the burden of the sum. Some answers all that's useful when they arrive before they run. The proof is not a doorway, the proof is not a crown. It's the ordinary fact that I moved and stayed around. I don't need to know the reason before the ground begins to shift. I can move through what is missing with a smaller kind of lift. If the answer comes afterward, I will let it take its place. Not in front of every question, just beside the one I faced. I start before the sentence knows exactly how to end. Can let the meaning follow like a code around the bend. There is proof inside the leaving, there is proof inside the try. Not the kind that makes it certain, just enough to pass me by. I don't frame the evidence, I don't wait for it to shine. I step once without the reason, then it walks a little behind. The blinds are almost leaving, one line lets the daylight through. I don't fix the whole apartment, I just turn the thin blade loose. A kettle clicks without a warning, steam lifts like it changed its mind. I stand there holding nothing, letting one small angle find a way across the counter, past the plates I didn't clear. Not enough to call it better, just enough to make it near. Yeah, I used to wait for full correction, all the numbers line in rows. Every flaw became a verdict, every pause became exposed. But a compass doesn't argue when the needle starts to sway. It just admits the north is moving by a fraction of a way. So I give the day less trial, less courtroom, less command. I don't need a perfect landing to put weight into my hand. There's a jacket on the chair back, there's a bill I haven't read. There's a thought I keep repeating till it loses what it said. 1 degree is not a promise, not a flag, not a repair. It's the smallest kind of turning that can open up the air. If I can't become the version that I kept above my name, I can shift the heavy center and let part of me remain. I lower the brightness on the screen, not to disappear from view, just to stop the sharp reflection from deciding what is true. There's a mark beside the doorway where a box scraped off the paint. I keep walking past it lately without making it a case. That might be the whole adjustment, not forgiveness, not a sign. Just a smaller hook inside me pulling less against the line. I was built from overchecking, from the fear of getting caught in a life I couldn't carry after giving it a lot. Now I write the plan in pencil, leave a gap between the parts. Let the sentence miss its end and let the handle miss the mark. Turn me by 1 degree, not enough to make a story, not enough for anybody else to notice from the street. Just enough to change the shadow that was leaning over me. Just enough to make the heavy parts sit different underneath. I don't need a sudden answer, I don't need the room to clear. I can start from one small angle, let something reappear. If the whole shape stays face, not a new face. More like the glass, less blunt, not a high point. More like the gauge, ease down. A little off the pressure is enough to stay around. There's a thermometer in my thinking, always set a little high. Every task became a fever, every choice became a climb. So I open one small window in the way I judge the day. The air doesn't make me different, it just gives the sharpness space. I don't have to solve the weather, I don't have to name the route. I can leave the old demand there and step slightly out. Maybe this is how it changes, not with fireworks, not with proof. Maybe every hard direction has a softer hidden tooth. Maybe all the force I carry was a dial I never saw. Maybe I can turn it lower without calling that a flaw. There's no banner in the distance, no clean version taking shape. Just my hands around the moment, learning where the edges break. Turn me by 1 degree, not enough to make a story. Not enough to turn the whole thing into something bright and clean. Just enough to move the pressure from the center of my chest. Just enough to let the next part stand where panic used to lean. I don't need the final answer, I don't need a better face. I can live inside the margin where the hard line loses weight. If the whole shape stays unfinished, if the old weight keeps its name, 1 degree away from breaking is still moving all the same. Turn me by 1 degree, like a dial beneath the static, like a window left the fingers with the weight from shutting tight. I can keep the part that's human, I can loosen what I owe. I can pass through what I carried with a little less of it tonight. The needle doesn't settle, the lines don't line up straight. I'll leave the angle almost wrong and take that as the way. So I leave the chair near the wall, not where it should be, where I can reach it without making the whole room agree. There's a label peeling slightly from a box I never named. I don't press it flat again, I let it hold the shame a little less tightly than it did last week. Some things stay useful when they're barely clean. I used to make a system out of every smart repair, turn a loose screw into evidence that I should not be there. But the shelf still holds the books with one corner leaning down. The plank keeps making new leaves in a cup I nearly threw out. There's a bill behind the magnet, there's a sock beneath the bed. There's a sentence I keep carrying that never leaves my head. Still the floor accepts my footsteps without asking what they mean. Maybe that is close enough to something I can keep. I'm done asking every morning to become a better proof. I can live inside a version with some tape across the truth. If the shape can hold me gently while the heavier parts pass through, then maybe it is tenable, even if it isn't new. I don't need the cleanest table, I need 1 square for my hands. I don't need the perfect future, just a plan that understands how a person gets uneven after carrying too much air. How the smallest ordinary thing can feel like a lock stare. I water 1 tight corner, wipe the glass only halfway. There's a kind of mercy hidden in not fixing the whole day. A drawer that closes crooked still can keep the sharp things out. A door that sticks in winter still remembers being found. Make it tenable, not flawless. Make it something I can stay with when the brighter words run thin. Let the ceiling keep its marks, let the window keep the weather it has been holding in. I don't need a light that shines back, I don't need a clean report. I need 1 small room inside me where the pressure comes up short. If it bends but doesn't vanish, if it shakes but lets me stand, that might be enough to carry what I cannot fully plan. The sink drips once then waits, I do the same with less debate. The light stays uneven, the wall keeps the dent. I stop calling every flaw a message that was sent. Maybe I can keep the habit without turning it to law. Maybe I can leave the fracture without making it the flaw. Maybe strength is not the structure that refuses to adjust, but the one that gives a little and still doesn't turn to dust. I've made too many temples out of temporary ground. I've asked a passing feeling to become a settled sound. Now I sign the lease and pencil, leave the last room unexplained. If I can stay until the weather moves, it counts as being changed. Tenable, like a bridge of patched up boards that still gets me across the part I used to stand before. Tenable, like a name I almost trust, not heavy enough Fold it once and put it near. I can live without the answer being polished into clear. There is a version of repair that doesn't make a sound. It doesn't raise the broken place. It lets the weight sit down. There is a way to keep going that looks almost like a pause. No grand return, no perfect page, just fewer private laws. I put the old demand on the highest kitchen shelf. Not gone, not solved, just harder to reach by myself. Make it tenable, not golden. Make it something I can hold without becoming less than real. Let the day keep one rough corner. Let the part I can't explain stay part of how I heal. I don't need the whole thing answered. I don't need the frame to glow. I need one small way of staying where I used to always go. If it bends but doesn't leave me, if it cracks but keeps the light, that might be enough for now. That might be the shape tonight. Make it tenable, not finished. Make it almost, make it near. Make it plain enough to live in, with the loose parts still here. I leave the chair near the wall. I leave the box half labeled. The room does not become new, but it becomes tenable. Yeah, the number moves before I do. I'll mark up the nothing loud. I don't call it or come back, I don't show it to the crowd. A cursor blinks beside the line, I almost learned to hate. I type one ordinary word and let the rest come late. There's a meter in the corner that I stop checking twice. Every time I stare too hard I turn my pulse to ice. So I leave it in the background, let it climb without a scene. 1% can cross the glass without becoming clean. I have made the smallest progress feel too weak to even count. Like a coin beneath the vending slot that never made a sound. But the machine still hums a little somewhere under all that weight. Not enough to fix the day, enough to keep the wire straight. I don't need a landmark, I need the counter not to fall. I need the line to keep its place when I'm barely moving at all. Maybe growth is not a doorway, maybe it is less exact. A digit changing quietly while nobody looks back. Maybe I can trust the smallest shift that doesn't ask for praise. A barely rising number still can pull me through the haze. Let it rise by an increment, not enough to make the whole room turn around, just enough to prove the motion has not given up beneath the sound. If the day won't open wider, if the sky keeps its old name, I can live inside the smallest change and let it count the same. Yeah, let it rise by an increment, one thin mark above the line. I don't need the full answer, I just need a little sign that the thing I thought was frozen still remembers how to bend. Not a victory, not a finish, just a number that can mend. I put a bottle by the window with the label rubbed away. Every week the dust is different, every week I miss the change. There's a charge light on the cable, amber holding through the dark. Not enough to leave the socket, still enough to make a start. I used to hate the middle, all the almost, all the slow, the half-loaded little symbols that refuse to say they know. But I've been living in the margin where the update takes its time, where the bar does not complete itself but still redraws the line. And I won't make a myth of it, won't dress it up as fade. I won't turn a single step into a speech I have to fake. I can let the quiet number do its work behind my face. I can stop demanding proof from every inch of empty space. One more minute in the room, one more message left unsent, one less reason to collapse under what the morning. Let it rise by an increment, not enough to make the whole room turn around, just enough to prove the motion has not given up beneath the sound. If the day won't open wider, if the old way keeps its frame, I can live inside the smallest change and let it count the same. Let it rise by an increment, like the screen that learns to glow, like a tired little signal finding somewhere else to go. I don't need the full distance, I don't need the perfect bend, just a barely moving measure that can meet me where I end. Increment by increment, I stop asking for the flood. The faucet gives a silver thread, and that is still enough. Increment by increment, the locked thing loses size, not because it disappeared, but because I changed its height. I can stay below the noise, I can move behind the claim, I can let a smaller progress keep its ordinary name. There's a kind of math that doesn't look like grace, It adds one nearly invisible mark to the same unfinished place. No one claps for the counter, no one frames a slow repair, but something in the background keeps deciding to be there. I think that might be enough for the version I am in. Not fully turned toward better, just no longer where I've been. Let it rise by an increment, not enough to make the whole room turn around, just enough to prove the motion has not given up beneath the sound. If the day stays half-lit, if the road stays undefined, I can trust the smallest number when it moves one place in time. Let it rise by an increment, not a rescue, not a crown, just a little extra distance from the thing that pulled me down. I don't need a bright beginning, I don't need the ending clear. If the measure moves beside me, I can stay with what is here. The cursor blinks again, the meter does not shine. One number moves up quietly, and I leave it on the line. I was already halfway got, coat still caught on the chair, keys in my hand like a warning. Once you turn toward the stair, and something in the minute loosened. Not enough to name relief. The clock kept moving forward, but it stopped chasing me. I used to answer every hour like a doorbell I had to serve. Made a race out of the hallway, made a rule out of my nerves. There was always one more corner I was late to in my head, one more small unfinished thing pulling weight across the bed. But today the cup stays on the counter, and I let the water cool. I don't turn a simple morning into someone else's proof. The train can leave without me in the version I survive. Not every misconnection means I failed to be alive. I am learning where the hurry keeps his hand around my sleeve. I can loosen one small finger without needing to be free. If the day keeps leaning forward, I can lean a little less. There is room inside a moment when the need to rush relents. I used to hold the minutes like they might refuse my name. Every late reply inside me turned itself into a blame. But there's a softer way to carry what I still cannot complete. A folded towel on the railing, warm air moving through the sheet. I don't have to be forgiven by the hour I couldn't keep. Some parts of me arrive slowly, some parts need a wider street. If the world keeps asking faster, I will answer with my hands. Not by running past the feeling, but by letting where I stand be enough to start from, be enough to stay. The rush can lose its color and still leave me with the day. Let the haste relent a little, let the sharp edge lose its claim. We can move without becoming all the pressure in our names. If the next thing keeps on calling, we can let it call from far. We don't have to cross the distance just to prove where we are. Let the haste relent a little, not a pause that disappears, but a space where we can notice we have made it through the years. If the road stays undecided, if the hour keeps its teeth, we can walk beneath the asking with a little room beneath. There's a jacket on the handle like a flag I never raised, a receipt beside the doorway with the ink already grayed. I was treating every object like I knew I came up short. Even laundry in the corner started sounding like a chore. So I move one thing with patience, not to fix the whole display, just to teach my hands the difference between leaving and delay. I put the message back to later, not forever, not denied. Some decisions get more honest when they're not forced to decide. Maybe I can be responsible without becoming chased. Maybe all this extra motion never made the road more safe. Maybe getting there exhausted is not proof that I was right. Maybe leaving 5 more minutes less the day survive the flight. So I fold the needless panic, put it under something plain. Let the urgent voice get smaller without needing it explained.
I won't mistake the running for the shape of being true. I can keep a little distance from the things I thought I knew. There is mercy in the slow, and not a loss and not a wall, just a body finding language after trying to hold it all.
We leave 10 seconds unused, we leave one step unproved. We let the corner wait there without making just a little less surrender
to the hurry in the way.
Let the haste relent a little, let the sharp edge
Let the limb lose its claim.
We can move without becoming
All the pressure in our names.
If the next thing keeps on calling,
We can let it call from far.
we can let it call from far.
We don't have to cross the distance just to prove where we
Let the
are.
haste relent a little, not enough to stop the rain,
Just enough to keep the body from mistaking rush for aim.
if the road stays undecided, if the hour keeps its teeth.
We can walk beneath the asking with a little room
Let the
beneath.
haste relent a little,
Let the morning come and
let
plain.
the infinite parts around us keep the ordinary names.
We are now held forever just because we slow the climb.
We can leave on breathless bend and still arrive inside the time. The keys stay in my hand,
The door waits one more turn,
5 seconds remain open.
and the hurry